everyone. So today for day 27, we are continuing working with shapes, and today I can classify shapes in several ways based on how they are alike and how they are different. So we are going to go into this solve and share in the guided practice in a minute, but I wanted to show you something that I created, and I have put this up in our Google Classroom, and it's called Quadrilaterals Cheat Sheet. And so I'm going to explain it, but this is something to help you go through. So basically how it works is we have our largest classification going down to the smaller ones, and this paper continues down lower. So I don't think there's a way for me to get it all in. I tried my best. Okay, so at the very top we have a polygon, and that is a closed shape that has only straight sides. So all of these below all fit under the category of a polygon. Now under polygons we have quadrilaterals. So everything that we're talking about here fits under a quadrilateral. So quadrilaterals are polygons with 4 sides and 4 angles. Now, under your quadrilaterals are trapezoids or parallelograms. A trapezoid has exactly 1 pair of sides on lines that never cross. Parallelograms have opposite sides are the same length and opposite angles are the same size. Under parallelograms are rectangles and rhombuses. So, a rectangle is a shape with 4 right angles or square angles. A rhombus is a shape with all sides being the same length. Then down at the very bottom is a square. Squares have 4 right angles and all sides are the same length. So every square is also a rectangle, a rhombus, a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. Every rectangle is also a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. Every rhombus is also a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. But not all rhombuses are squares, and not all rectangles are squares. So you have to work your way up to find what they all are. So every trapezoid is a quadrilateral and a polygon. All right, so there is a picture of this for you to refer back to and help you. This is the exact same information that we worked on yesterday to help us describe different quadrilaterals. It's just in a format that can help you know what is what. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look into our solve and share. It says to sort the shapes into 2 groups and then answer the question, how did you sort the shapes and how are the shapes in both of your groups alike? So there are many, many different ways that we can sort this, but I'm going to look into 2 specific ways that you could have possibly sorted these. So the first is sorting by angles. So if I look at these right here, I can notice that triangle A, triangle D, and triangle K all have right angles in them, which means that one of their angles is square. All the remaining ones do not have them. So if I were to sort them by that, then I could say right here, my group 1 is A, D, and K, and my group 2 are all the remaining. I sorted them by if they have right angles or not right angles. So a right angle just means that I can put a little square in the corner and it will work. On a triangle like this, I'm more so making a little diamond than a square. So these ones do not work. These ones have the right angles. And the similarity between them is all these shapes have 3 angles. So regardless if it's right angles or not right angles, they all have 3 angles. Another way I could choose to maybe sort them is on their sides. So I'm noticing if I look at triangle B, triangle G, and triangle I, that all the sides of these are equal. So, if I'm looking at this, in BG and I, all their sides are equal. And in my group 2, A, C, D, E, F, H, J, K, not all the sides are equal. So in a triangle like right here, I can see all of these sides are identical in length. And a triangle like this, all my sides are different. So that is how I separated them. Now, how they're all alike is all shapes have 3 sides in this comparison. So now let's go ahead and look through our guided practice and what we will be doing today. So I've zoomed in a little, and this is how can you describe different groups of shapes? So it says Ethan made 2 groups of polygons. And we remember a polygon is a closed shape that has only that has only straight sides. So a closed shape that has only straight sides. How are the groups different and how are the groups alike? When you classify groups of shapes, you identify the attributes of each and then compare them with other shapes. So right here it says, here is one way the 2 groups are different. In group 1, each polygon has sides that are all the same length. So right here, they're all the same length. In group 2, each polygon has sides that are not all the same length. So those are the differences between them. These all have all sides the same length, these do not. They also have ways that they're similar. In group 1 and 2, all the polygons have 4 sides because they're all quadrilaterals. They're all polygons that have 4 angles, and they're all quadrilaterals. So 4 sides, meaning a quadrilateral, and 4 angles. So now I'm going to go through and model these guided practice questions before you have a chance to do these on your own with the independent practice. So I'm going to start with looking at 1 through 3, and all of these are going to kind of relate together, so we'll go through. So the first is Nellie drew a group of rectangles and a group of trapezoids. How are the shapes in each group different? So I didn't draw a group of them, I just drew 1 to represent, but that will help me. So I'm trying to look for how these are different, how they're different. So I'm going to look back at my trusty little cheat sheet right here to help me. So trapezoids have exactly 1 pair of sides on lines that never cross, meaning these ones can keep going forever and ever and they'll never cross. But these ones will eventually hit a point where they cross. So if I'm drawing kind of these imaginary lines, we can see that they'd cross. You can kind of think as a trapezoid and as if you were to cut a triangle or draw a triangle and just cut the top off. Can get us a trapezoid. So how they are different, so that's a trapezoid. A rectangle has 4 right angles or square angles. So in order to be a rectangle, it needs to have 4 right angles or square angles, which I can draw on right here. If I look at my trapezoid, I am not able to make the square angles. It doesn't work on a trapezoid. So the difference between these is rectangles have 4 right angles and trapezoids do not. So that's the difference. But even though these shapes are different, they still have similarities between them. They have things that make them alike. So for number 2, how are rectangles and trapezoids alike? Well, I'm noticing that a trapezoid has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and a rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So they're alike because they have 4 sides. They also both have 4 vertexes or angles where 2 lines meet. So right there, here, here, and here, 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 and here. So 4 sides and 4 angles. My last question, number 3, what larger group of polygons do all of Nellie's shapes belong to, both trapezoids and rectangles? So again, I'm going to refer back to my handy dandy sheet, which you are welcome to refer back to. I can find rectangles here. So rectangles are part of parallelograms. Trapezoids are not under parallelograms though, just these 3. So both parallelogram and trapezoids are polygons, as you can see, but they're also polygons with 4 sides and 4 angles. So both of these are quadrilaterals. So the group that they're both belong to is quadrilaterals. All right, let's go ahead and look at 4 through 6. So numbers 4 through 6 say use the groups on the previous page. So 4 is draw a shape that belongs to Ethan's group 1. 5 is draw a shape that belongs to Ethan's group 2. And then we have a question to answer. So let's look up at our group 1. So our group 1 is a rhombus, meaning we need to draw some kind of shape where all sides are the same length. So I might want to take a shape and draw that. So this is a rhombus because all of the sides are the same length. Let's look at group 2 now. Group 2 is a trapezoid. So I need to make sure that I have exactly 1 pair of sides on lines that never cross. Exactly means I cannot have 2 pairs of lines, just 1. So I can take a shape and draw that. Number 6 asks me, why is there a square in group 1? And remember, group 1 is the group of rhombus. And the reason a square fits in there is to be a rhombus, all it needs, and I'll refer back to my sheet, is all sides are the same length. In squares, all sides are the same length and there are 4 right angles. So all squares are rhombuses, but not all rhombuses are squares. So why is there a square in group 1? Because all the sides are equal. So now it is your turn to complete the rest of the questions. You have from 7 through 20 to answer, and feel free to look back on the guided practice and use that little cheat sheet that I gave you to help you. So good luck.